Herkese merhaba. Uzun zamandır beklediğimiz filmler bir bir vizyona gelirken sinema dünyasına hakim olmak gerek. Geçtiğimiz hafta neler olmuş? Bu hafta hangi yapımlar öne çıkacak? Kim hangi projeyi okeylemiş? Sinemalarda neler izleyeceğiz? Hepsini öğreneceğiz. O zaman Sinemaskop'a başlayalım. Yepyeni bir kıyamet senaryosu olan aksiyon gerilim türündeki Geostorm, Independence Day'in yazar ve yapımcısı Dean Devlin'in ilk yönetmenlik denemesi. Çin, Hong Kong ve Arabistan'da çekildi. Bazı sahnelerde New Orleans'ta bulunan NASA üssünde. Filmin başrolü Jared Butler, aynı zamanda filmin yapımcısı. Hollywood'un bir süredir ihmal ettiği felaket temalı filmlerin bir yenisi olan Geostorm'un kamera arkasını seyredelim.
Jake is, how would you say, a construction engineer on on a macro scale. And he's the guy who basically put this International Space Station together, and which has formed all this system of satellites controlling the environment. So he's a bit of a whiz kid, you know, and he was overseeing all the different countries involved, but he's also a hothead.
The Senate committee will now hear from Jacob Lawson, Climate ISS Chief Coordinator. May the record reflect that he was nearly 1 hour late.
Yeah, sorry about that. I literally had to fly in from outer space.
Well, Jim's just a phenomenal actor. I mean, he makes every moment interesting, and he gives so much to the movie. And I mean, I have to say that's my favorite relationship in the movie is the brother story, and it really needed a great rhythm between these two guys, and that's a love story in a way as well. Right from the start, you see these guys, they're not talking, they make each other crazy, but you know they belong together. You know that they get each other. You know at the end of the day that they would die for each other, and you just want to see that develop as well.
Thanks to a system of satellites, natural disasters have become a thing of the past.
A geostorm it's a storm of planetary proportions, where I think the idea in our movie is that many storms combine in such a way that it becomes one massive storm that dominates the planet, and it basically would be a disaster for mankind.
So your proposal is what?
We shut down all satellites.
I don't need to remind all of you how many people died from catastrophic climate conditions.
Make sure there's no further incidents.
The theme of the movie is the science itself is a beautiful thing. It's the people that use it for the right or wrong purposes. It's when it's abused, and you know, Dutch boy, and I always kind of this space station, this system of satellites. It's actually beautiful, and I always felt of it through this movie, kind of like a character. And you realize by the end, it did no wrong. It only did the right thing. It only did what it was asked to do.
Are you going back up to space?
I'm coming back. I promise.
Have a safe trip, sir.
Just don't touch anything.
Main engine start.
I play Sarah in Geostorm, and Sarah is a Secret Service agent to the President of the United States of America, played by Andy Garcia. And obviously she's with the President at all times when he's not at the White House and in close proximity in the White House. And so she's very much right there whenever anything's happening. She's also in a relationship with Max, who's played by Jim Sturgis, who gets transferred to a job at the White House right with the President.
This is Mr. Jake Lawson.
The Jake Lawson? You look much older than I would have thought. I mean, you look good. Am I getting fired?
You know, most of our work was together, and it was important because, you know, you're not only telling big chunks of the story from Earth, you know, and also figuring things out, but they're also in love and they're in a relationship. And so, lucky for me and Jim, we really liked each other and really got along. And it became easy to sort of peel off those layers and play those characters.
My access has been blocked.
So satellite has a bad comm, that happens.
Not a satellite.
This wasn't a malfunction. It was intentional.
There's potential for catastrophic weather events on a global scale. A geostorm.
For me, in Geostorm, Sarah was such a fun character because she was strong and she was athletic and intelligent, but she was also really feminine, and I really loved that mix. It wasn't just your badass tough chick, you know, made of steel. She was actually delicate and feminine. It's just she was good at her job and she was pretty athletic, and so it was a really sweet role to step into.
I need your help.
You're soliciting a Secret Service agent. Seriously? We're kidnapping the president in a self-driving cab.
I play Max Lawson, who's basically, he's like a young sort of political upstart, I suppose, who, you know, is kind of very technically gifted and minded. You know, he's great at kind of breaking codes and sort of hacking computers, that kind of thing. And he gets headhunted for a job at the White House. And that's kind of where you start the film and start his story as his first day on the job at the White House. Gerard Butler plays my brother Jake, who's my older, kind of more irresponsible brother. And quite quickly you sort of learn that there's some animosity between the two of them and that they haven't really had an easy sail through their relationship. You know, there's been some sort of family issues. So it's very hard for my character to approach his older brother and to make him kind of join teams with him and for them to sort of collaborate on something that eventually becomes incredibly important.
Come on, baby.
A geostorm is when the science of geoengineering is manipulated to create weather disasters rather than prevent them. You know, it's a kind of giant man-made global storm. So yeah, it's basically using the science of geoengineering for its reverse effect, which is to sort of prevent and maintain the kind of weather for the benefit of good, but once it gets put into the hands of evil, it can become a pretty lethal weapon.
You realize you're committing treason?
Oh, yeah, I kidnapped the president. I've stolen state secrets. Yeah, anything I'm forgetting, honey?
Honey.
Mario.
Yoğun bir sinema turunun ardından Sinemaskop'un sonuna geldik. Haftaya yine dolu dolu bir bölümle aynı gün ve saatte ekranlarınızda karşınızda olacağız. Hafta içi boyunca sinemadan haberdar olmak istiyorsanız sizleri sosyal medya hesaplarımıza bekliyoruz. Sinemasız kalmayın. İzlemediğiniz filmde kalmasın. Hoşçakalın.